It's the Mosley Show. Welcome inside my den of sports, my den of thieves. It is time. And welcome inside. It's high school football season. My local high school, LH, stands for Lake Highlands. Big game against Allen. Everybody's already handed this thing, the area around, to the Allen Eagles. And, hey, they're incredible. They're the number 2 team in the state. But the Wildcats are going to show up Friday night out there at McKinney High School. And, boy, I tell you, to start today's show, I am fighting a desperate urge to sneeze. And it's just lurking, and it's gonna happen. And it could happen at the – I mean, I would have delayed today's show even more to try to get the sneeze out, but it's going to happen at some point. But right now, I seem to be fighting it off. Great to be with you. Scotty and I are proud to have you alongside. Scotty Swingler, he's seen on many other shows in Central Texas and wherever you get these broadcasts. I am a little bit punchy today because I've been up to all hours last night doing a podcast for the Rogue Media Network, of course, the Doomsday podcast that I do with Ed Werder. And we were up doing that late last night. Glenn Stretch Smith's on that with us, too. He can be heard on a radio station. I believe that station's still on over in Waco as well. And I kind of hooked him up with that gig. For as far as I know, I've never been thanked for that. I tell you what, if someday we're going to have kind of a Festivus type thing, and I'm going to just list all the people I'm frustrated by that just don't show gratitude. They don't thank me for things that I've done. And I'm just going to release a list of all those people. No, I probably won't. That doesn't sound like a very gracious move. It's a beautiful day in the Mosley neighborhood. And, nice day in Central Texas. Talk about fake fall. I mean, we're just tempted. We're just kind of teased with, that pretty cooler weather. And at night, it's like, is it going to freeze? Oh, my gosh, we've got freeze warnings, whatever. And then with a vengeance today. I'm like a lot of you. I've turned off the air in my house. Just like, oh, wow, let's save some money. Let's just turn off the air because it's like pretty cold at night. It'll be fine. What is it right now? Let's see, in Dallas, Texas. Let me get you the latest. 84. Feels like 88. Great job, guys. Great job, like giving us a no fall. I mean, here we are. Thanksgiving is almost upon us. The kids are all coming home from college. They're getting ready to fire out of there. I mean, Scotty, you ought to watch Lizzie. I'm surprised her break haven't already started. These kids, these breaks are unbelievable. It's like, well, wait, don't you have Monday class? No, Monday's class called off. What about Tuesday's class? Tuesday's class called off. Are you skipping? Was it really called off? Parents, we got to ask questions. We have to zero in. For Scotty, it didn't really matter because he was living in China Spring. And so when it was like time to be off for college, it's like he literally had like a 10-minute drive. Like, oh, all right, time to go home. Time to go 15 minutes. Scotty, if you'll join me for a moment in prayer. No, join me on the screen. Did you like?
You're on a heater today, Mosley.
You didn't try to stay home that first semester, did you? Did you live on campus in a dorm and everything?
Sir, I lived on Penn Island, dude.
You lived in Penland?
Yeah, on the island. I did freshman year at Baylor, right, sir?
Had they gone co-ed by the time you were there?
Absolutely not.
No co-ed?
And it's an atrocity and a stain on our otherwise beautiful campus.
to make it co-ed?
Penland specifically. Other dorms, I don't give a rip. But Penland specifically. We acting like Martin is the quintessential guys dorm. Give me a break. Give me a break. That's unbelievable.
No, we honestly, it was hard. I tried to be pretty nice, but like if a guy was from Martin, we had questions, right? It was just like,
you get it. Okay, well, that's why it was in 2011 and 2012 as well. And it was funny. Mosley, but you're right. It wasn't a big deal to like just pack a night bag and go home, see my mom. I did want to let you know, though, just because don't want to insult anyone around here. Lizzie is no longer at Baylor. She has graduated, sir.
Oh, wait a second. I need to. I usually can hear these things, but then you whispered, and so I have to actually put on the headset. She is what? She's recently what?
She has graduated. She is no longer a student.
So does that mean she could just stay around for holidays if she wanted? I mean, so she could really do whatever she wanted.
I believe the plan is she will be around for the holidays.
That's interesting because she is from like a place called Nashville or somewhere.
Yeah, never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Isn't that where she is? We've got so much to get to today, and we've only allotted until about 3:00 or whenever we feel like leaving to accomplish all these tasks. And what I do on the days after the Cowboys play, I don't really like to have a guest. Yesterday was kind of fun because Bryce is he's an old buddy. That's why media, nobody loves media like media. You know, we embrace each other, and that's why, Scotty, it was all I could do. You know how Pete and I, we might give each other the sharp stick, but we really like each other a lot. But when he kind of turned his torpedo toward the local media, and of course, I'm not really, I mean, I guess I did a show in Waco for years, and I talk about a lot of things there, but I don't really, I mean, I'm a Dallas guy, so I don't know. I don't know what I refer to myself as. But he kind of zeroed in on the local media for something he didn't like the way they covered something. I don't know if you caught that, Scotty, but I kind of cringe because my gut always tells me when anybody goes after the media, I want to defend the media. And that's really where I started to go immediately. Like, hey, this is, I started sort of making excuses for the media because, hey, everybody hates us. All right. Everybody, the outside, and, it's like, oh, they're the lamestream media, or they just assume we're all liberals, or they blah, blah, blah. Right. They all hate us. And so then what I can't have happen is the media turn on the media like that. We've got to have each other's back, but we do it. Oh, my gosh. The pettiness of some of these media fights. And I've been a part of it before. There's like a radio station in Dallas I can't go on based on a stupid tweet from like 15 years ago. I don't even know if Twitter existed. It was like right after Twitter, and some guy popped off, and I popped back at him on Twitter, and he's now the program director at 105.3, and he's still mad at me. It's just so crazy. We need to grow up. I'm really starting to grow up. Like, I'm sort of a uniter now. I like bring the media together. Even my little local spats. I kind of, I see this person who apparently he and I kind of were a little bit like warring nations. And I see him at games now, and I'm like, hey, how are you doing? Like, I in my mind, I'm like, why was I like that? I need to leave that in my past. All right, it's 84 degrees, feels like 88. What is it in Waco today, Scotty? Have you looked? As you get older in life, here's what you care about. You monitor the weather. Like if you approach your 50s, and I've just entered, you monitor the weather like crazy. Now, as you know. No, yeah. You're approaching your 40s. I mean, you're kind of within hollering distance. Not really. You're approaching your mid 30s. Here's the two things you do. You obsess about the weather as you get older, and then you obsess about these are things that I never thought I would do. There's nobody in America right now that monitors price per gallon at gas stations like I do. Like you just like, wait, that Valero's 238 in College Station. Did you see that they have a 238? And then you're like, man, I can't, golly. And then I'm on the way out of town the other day and I get stuck at a place gassing up like a full tank of gas for 279. And it kills me because like literally 30 minutes before I'd seen it for 238. And I promise you,
I can't even lie.
The first 45 years of my life, it never crossed my mind. Like not even to look and go, oh, wait, is that place more than that place? Like I didn't even totally understand what it meant. Like I'd see the diesel in the unleaded and be like, which one am I getting? Well, I hope I get a good price.
Rewind. You didn't understand that the numbers next to a type of gasoline meant price? What do you mean? I didn't understand.
I'm saying that was more for effect, but I'm glad you zeroed in on it. I'm saying I didn't really
understand.
No, I know. I just didn't really pay any attention is what I'm saying. And maybe I'm getting more conscious about this stuff because I have a daughter in college and I have to pay for this. And maybe I'm a little bit, but yes, there's just certain things. There's certain things that catch your eye as you start to get a little age on you. And one of those is price per gallon. You're saying it's already happened to you? Like you're taking
I'm already like that with gasoline. I'm not like that with the weather though. But to answer your question, it is 83 degrees in Waco. It feels like 80. And apparently there's a 95% chance of rain on Thursday. So that's exciting.
Okay. Oh, by the way, one of my favorite things, Scotty, about the holidays, Thanksgiving especially, is kids are home. I've just got one. I don't know why I act like I've got like a whole brood, but I like the college basketball that we get right around the hot. Like I think that to me, there's something of, and again, conference season. Yes, I love all that. Saturdays and Wednesdays and Tuesdays and all that. During conference season, I get all that. But there's something about like the Thanksgiving time basketball, college basketball that I've always loved. And it makes me think of my childhood. And so I think of all that. And the Bears coming up next week. When does that start, Scotty? Like Monday and Tuesday? Woo! St. John's, Creighton. Maybe there's another game that they could have, like in Las Vegas. Like if I was really just flush right now, and I feel like that's not totally the case, I think I would go on out to Vegas before Thanksgiving and take those games in. That sounds fun to me. Cowboys were just in Vegas. But anyway, the Baylor, so Scotty, just so we can get the lineup, because we're almost to like our first break, and I haven't even mentioned that the Cowboys played last night. So we got a lot to get to, and we're going to do a lot of Cowboys today. I think it's very important that we do that. And I'm sorry to my Twitter audience. This is your first time to sample us. I've just randomly, but this is kind of what I do from time to time. I'm just kind of wandering all over the place. But if you like the show, which I don't know today, I don't know if you should even admit that you like it, I would go to the YouTube channel and look for Matt Mosley Show. And then you subscribe for free, and then you can like put little comments and stuff, and then we'll feature them on the screen. And then we have great guests. And that's what I was going to tell you about. Tomorrow, I'm not, Scotty's more of the soccer guy. I don't do a lot of soccer. But Scotty, at some point, I did notice that our beloved Bears have like a really good soccer team. And we got a coach that everybody wants. So, Mac's embattled right now. We may never hear from Mac again, sadly. But let's admit, that was a good hire right there. Michelle Leonard from DBU. Way to go, Mac. Way to go. We appreciate you. We like Michelle's work. Michelle's going to be in South Bend for a Thursday night battle in round 2 of the NCAA tournament with a team that sounds like maybe Wisconsin or something. I don't know. I should write these things down. I think it's like Wisconsin. It's in South Bend, and she's going to join us tomorrow. So about 2:15 or 2:30 tomorrow, you'll get to hear from the Baylor women's soccer coach. I don't know if they have a men's soccer coach because it's just a club team for men. Although I got to tell you, Scotty, when I was at Baylor, my freshman year and even through, wow. One of our sponsors, Scott James from that law firm, Cherry Johnson, Siegmund James, he was unbelievable. His older brother, David James, the late, great Kyle Lake, who we lost tragically, but awesome guy, great soccer player. He was a pastor in Waco. Woo, he could play. Brody Hildebrand, Jed Hildebrand, Sloan Hildebrand, the Hildebrand boys, the brothers, they could all play. We had some big time soccer on the men's soccer side, but I don't even know if they had a coach. I think they asked me to be the coach at one point because I didn't even really feel like going to the game, so I turned them down. But the women's coach is very highly paid, very, very good. And that's a deal. It made me flash back to some of my buddies playing soccer. I bet Scotty had friends who played soccer. He seems like a guy that would like to put on a pair of Umbros and get out there kicking around a little bit. In fact, if I had to guess, Scotty probably was a hacky sack guy at some point in his lifetime. Probably did a little hacky sacking with some of his buddies. Okay, and then Thursday we've got Scott Drew. Scott Drew returns to the Matt Mosley show and going into these huge college basketball games next week. Scotty, do you see the jump man? This is Nike's. This is a special. This is my Lake Highlands jump man. And in another lifetime, in another alternate universe, I sometimes do a podcast for my beloved. I thought when my daughter graduated from high school last year that I would go ahead and retire from that podcast. And then it didn't quite work out. So, and that's another thing. It's under the umbrella of Rogue Media Network. Scotty, do you feel like Rogue should learn to say no to certain things at some point? Like I feel.
Don't ask me that. Don't ask me that on stream. Ask me after work.
I feel like we're not very good at saying no. But I love it, man. I love the attitude. It's like, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, why not? Why not? I mean, we'll be the voice of China Spring, the voice of Midway. Oh, you need Conley? You want Lorena? Doesn't matter. We can do it. We can find a way. And now with our production truck, dang, it's like, I mean, we might as well be ABC or something. It's like, I mean, it's crazy what we're capable of. Now, Scotty has to pull off miracles to keep our lighting from falling over, but I mean, otherwise, we're really a crack staff over here. So I'm appreciative of that. And I'm appreciative that the Baylor people that I kind of thought, hey, are all these people the Mosley show loyalists? Are they going to come over from all these years of doing radio? And the answer is yes. They're finding us and they seem excited. Now, Scotty, one thing you and I need to compare notes on, we got to get back over to our beautiful friends at the Brazos Landing. And so we got a lot happening in the coming days. There's a big thing happening on the 20th. We got Thanksgiving coming up, but we need to get something on the books to get over there by the water at the Brazos Landing. And so that is something we will need to discuss. Now, Cowboys, go get them a win. And Scotty, I thought the way they handled, first of all, the NFL has been really cool about the Marshawn Nealon, some of the before the game to put his picture up, the tribute, the having a moment of prayer. It's the first time Cowboys had played since he took his own life. And I just thought the Raiders handled that well. And I thought the broadcast leading up to it, I'm not saying I watched every single moment of it, but I thought SVP and that crew handled everything nicely. I mean, Ryan, what's his name, Scotty, is just, he bothers me. He annoys me. But I thought he was respectful and said nice things. What's his name, Scotty? Ryan, the guy at ESPN, Ryan, he's part of the TV coverage.
I wasn't watching. I was at work last night. Ryan Clark.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's all I needed. Ryan Clark. I wasn't trying to question whether you were watching or not, but yes, he is the one who does the pregame and the postgame with SVP. Very nicely done. And then they had the jersey in the locker, and then they brought the jersey out to the sideline. And I'm always a little careful on, oh my gosh, are they gonna, be inspired to have this incredible run and while they're playing for Marshawn? I don't. To me, that makes things seem that's a little trivial. What I care about is more like how can a team function? And these were the first times they were going through getting ready for a game and showing up. And then it was hitting home that he was not in the locker room. And then there'll be moments at home, first home game next Sunday without Marshawn Nealon. I was more interested in, how does the coach guide them through that? How does the quarterback lead them through that? Interesting, Scotty, that Solomon Thomas did not play in this game, but boy, he helped lead them through this week. He had a sibling who took his own life. And so, boy, this hit home with him, and he helped and spoke on behalf of the team. And then Dak Prescott did a really nice job of representing the team, and then goes out and plays brilliantly in this game. Now, this is the time when Scotty rightly points out that it's the Raiders. It's the Las Vegas Raiders. They're horrible. I mean, I was watching the Manning cast. Love those Manning brothers. They're very funny. I hope Scotty was sampling that as well. First of all, George W. and Scotty, that's on me. I totally meant, because there were some moments that I'm going to talk about that I could have found it easily on YouTube. Scotty, they did some of those little compilation or like a little, what are those things called? Not medleys, but you know what I'm saying? Little mashups of some of his best moments. If you find that, let's maybe share that with our audience in the 2:00 hour. George W. was a great guest. I've had him on my show a couple of times in the past. He was very funny, very gracious, but it was funny because they had Guy Fieri later on and Derek Carr, who used to play for the Raiders, and George W. Bush just blew them away. And wherever you are on politics, hey, I just think he's a good guy. I do. I don't care. I mean, we could talk about, he should have done this, should have done that, and whatever. But, and also he's kind of, because he's got that ranch out by Crawford, I mean, he's kind of one of us. I kind of think of President Bush, the former President Bush, as a Central Texan. Okay. So again, I realize there may be somebody in the audience like Mosley. I'm against his politics. That's fine. But I will tell you, from me being around him, is he my friend? Kind of. I mean, he has admitted to listening to the Mosley show in the past. That would be too strong to suggest that we were friends, but we certainly were very friendly over the years. And he used to own the Rangers. And I thought he was so funny last night. He was good. And when they asked him, they said, how long, Eli asked him how long he had prepared for how much time did he spend preparing for the Manning cast? And he just quipped about 10 minutes. And then they asked him if he grew up thinking he would go into public service like his father. As a kid, did he think he would go into public service? And he said, no. He said, I would have acted a hell of a lot better in college if I'd known I was going to do this. I mean, he just comes across like a very normal dude who just happened to be the leader of the free world at one point. And I thought that was great. That was, to me, that was the most fun part of the game last night, was watching. And he's a Cowboys fan. Now, he grew up an Oilers fan because he grew up his dad was a big Houston. I mean, I think George Bush Sr. was became a huge Houston sports fan. But George W. grew up in Midland. But for whatever reason, he was a Love You Blue Oilers fan growing up. But then when he bought the Rangers and was around Dallas more, he became a big Cowboys fan. And so I did think it was a little strange that in that Jerry Jones documentary, they featured George W. Bush so prominently because he was giving like the history of the Cowboys. And as he shared in this deal, he was a Love Ya Blue Oilers fan growing up. And they tried to make him out like he was some kind of, unbelievable lifelong Cowboys fan. It wasn't his fault. It was more the documentarians, what they were doing. So anyway, and Scotty, by the way, I think we got a new Ken Burns thing coming out. And so I'm very excited about that. Speaking of documentaries, I think we've got maybe a Civil War. No. He's done Civil War. I think it's Revolutionary War. All right. He's done a lot of stuff, including the history of country music, which that was a good one. I don't know if I ever fought through the entire thing, but I think Lizzie would like that, given some of her roots there. That was a good one. But Ken Burns out with a new documentary. And so anyway, lots to discuss today. I will just say about last night's game, the build up and the way they honored Marshawn Nealon, straight class from the Cowboys. What they did is, from a playing standpoint, they gave Scotty, I thought we got exactly what we were asking for. Let's take a peek at these new parts, and not so much because I loved it after the game. SVP was like, oh my gosh, this could be a frightening team. And could this team play its way into the playoff conversation? Would it be reasonable? And Troy Aikman tells him reasonable would be a stretch. Troy kind of shot him right back down to the point where SVP was kind of a little bit on his heels a little bit. I'm sure Troy and Joe kind of have that feeling of like, we've just done a game for 3.5 hours. Like, why is the minute we're done, are we on with SVP doing more? It's never made sense to me. And ESPN loves to do it these days with SVP. Let's have these people who just called the game. No, there's a million people you can talk to after a game. Why do you have to go back to the people we've all just watched like 3.5 hours of? We've heard their take for a long, long period of time. Why do we have to go back up to that? Doesn't make sense. I'm sure there's some consultants like, well, this is the way we keep our audience or something. It's a load of hooey, which makes me sound even older than I am. Okay, here's the thing though. What Scotty and I were interested in was like, show us these new pieces. Let's see. Let's kind of have a peek at what the Cowboys are up to with all these new players, DeMarvion Overshown, Quinnen Williams, playing next to Kenny Clark and Osa Digzua. Let's see what this looks like. Look great. You go, oh, it's Geno. They don't have any wideouts. They don't have any weapons. They don't know how to use Genty. I get all that. That doesn't mean I can't admire Quinnen Williams on bull rushes blowing people up. Is that the best offensive line they'll face the rest of the season? No, it's not. Are they in the NFL? Yes, they are. Okay. At some point, somebody thought they were good enough to play at the highest level of all of football. All right. And what Quinnen Williams did is line up and just over center and just walk those dudes back. He looked great. He looked number 92, folks. The Mannings were making fun of his jersey wasn't that long enough or something. That's seriously, if you said, Mosley, what's your favorite comedy right now? I'd say Abbott Elementary and the Manning Cast. Two favorite comedies right now. Those guys. Honestly, I've been around Eli, so I know what he's like in real life, and he's no live wire. But on this show, he's very funny, and they're just funny together. And sometimes, it's like, okay, we've heard some of these jokes before, but with those guys, it just seems very natural. I wish they'd put Archie on more because he's kind of funny when he goes on with them. They ought to have their brother Cooper on every once in a while, but I think Cooper has probably been keeping it really close to the vest with Arch taking so much heat this year. Peyton was at that game the other night, by the way. Or was it the afternoon game? The University of Texas and Georgia playing. That Peyton was down there to support his nephew and brother for that game because I saw him standing in the end zone. And I'll tell you what we'll do. We got major. So we'll do in the 2:00 hour. I want to hear from Dak. I want to do more Cowboys. But I'll tell you what we'll do here. Let's take care of our folks, and then I'll do some Baylor, and let's check in with Dave Aranda. I just want to kind of see what Dave's whispering about and get his take and react to a couple of things he had to say yesterday. Let's do that next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we were hoping Coach Collin would bring that championship mindset to do whatever she has to do to take our workplace culture to the next level.
Well, these donuts are pretty good.
Guys, how we doing?
We're good, Coach.
Craig! What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You have to dunk it.
So far, I think our employees are really enjoying it.
Not everything's a basketball thing.
Did you say something, Craig?
No, ma'am.
That's what I thought.
Dude, I think she likes you.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup from cars, trucks to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cabin chassis, and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by, let's be friends.
Everybody at Ecolife really has a passion and a real interest in helping people feel well. How much further can we go to get you feeling even better? It is a complete partnership between the two of us.
What if you could clean clean? With bio-based formulas and deep cleaning enzymes. No dyes, phthalates, or mystery ingredients. Just powerful pods for your dishes and laundry. Now you can, with drops made clean, made to clean.
It's not just a glove, it's a 44 Pro. Crafted with dedication, made for performance, and built to last. Get your custom glove today at 44pro.com and experience the 44 Pro difference. That's 44pro.com, 44 Pro.
It doesn't matter if your investment budget is small or big. All you need is Benzinga Pro and its powerful news alerts, price tracking, and portfolio monitoring. Subscribe now, and we'll skyrocket your portfolio today.
I am obsessed with helping business owners increase their traffic and turn it into profit through the power of Pinterest marketing. It's this amazing platform where people are looking for ideas, inspiration, They have a problem and they're actively looking for a solution.
It's hard to find supplements that work. No, thank you. Plant-based supplements made from the Earth's most powerful plants for your immune health, gut health, workouts, and more. Find out more at auraorganic.com.
Protect your online privacy with NordVPN. Browse securely, access content from anywhere, and keep your data safe with military-grade encryption. NordVPN.com. That's NORDVPN.com.
I just the Matt Mosley show on the Rogue Media Network. Thank you, Central National Bank, for being our presenting sponsor. Thank you, Ascension. Man, you're talented docs. Your doctors. We've enjoyed having on. Scotty, let's do a little Campus Confidential. I think we've had so much Baylor stuff, we haven't really gotten to devote as much time as I would like to do to that. And so I know you have some different things you would like to bring up. And by the way, I've got to see that little graphic. Don't forget. I love it. I've missed it. There it is. Oh, my gosh. Campus Confidential. People kind of right around 135, they start kind of jonesing for it a little bit. Scotty, the latest, I'm going to start you off and then you take us wherever you want to go. And we got time later today if we want to get to some Dave Aranda. I did see what he said about Sawyer, and you and I have to have a conversation about that because it's like he praised him and kind of criticized him at the same time. And that made me cringe a little bit. I don't think he totally meant maybe what he said. Maybe I can defend Dave a little bit, but hey, you stay off our Sawyer. I mean, the last thing you need to be doing is, and part of it is he was kind of going with the way a question was asked.
Right.
That's one little thing I can kind of give Dave. But you don't need to be getting on our man Sawyer. All right. I mean, my God, you'd be about 3-8 or whatever now. So let's not do that kind of weirdness, or 3-7, if not for the great Sawyer. I mean, what are you going to do? Daquan Finn's already quit to work on his NFL. You want to bring him in again? That was a great pickup. That was a great addition. Goodness gracious. I mean, at some point, Scotty, we're going to have a conversation on who's going to play quarterback next year. I got really depressed the other night, everybody mentioning, well, hey, all the wideouts, all their frontline guys are pretty much going to be gone next year. I'm just like, oh, great. Right. I mean, they need a tech-like portal experience. There is, I will say, if you want to laugh a little bit, and not at some of the bad things going on, but just kind of like, there's a Mac Rhodes parody deal, and they had a landman joke that they made that I just happened to see, Scotty, and it did make me laugh because it's not anything about what Mac's going through, so don't be like Mosley's being mean. But they say something about tech, and it's a fake Mac Rhodes, but if you watch Landman, it'll make you laugh what they're saying about Texas Tech. All right, Scotty, where I want us to start is this Lane Kiffin, and we can use this time to listen to a little bit about Lane when he was on Pat McAfee earlier today. But isn't that interesting? Lane is on he's had family members go to Gainesville. They've now tracked him to Baton Rouge, and we're also hearing rumor, we heard that report that Ole Miss, and understandably so, is like, hey, let us know what's going on by this weekend. We're trying to make plans here. We'd kind of like our student athletes to be ready to go for the college football playoff. Right. We'd like to know something by this weekend. Scotty, there's a lot going on with the Kiffin family right now.
Yeah, you got it. And frankly, Kiffin's going to get to coach pretty much wherever he wants next year, you would think. LSU, Florida, Auburn, Ole Miss. I mean, anywhere in the SEC that needs a coach, he's probably going to be priority A. But I guess you wanted to check in. He is doing some either really good PR or truth-telling on Pat McAfee's show today. He's a regular guest on there along with our buddy Matt Rule. And here, let's just watch that clip.
actions that come with having success. You just talked about the past 3 years being an absolute juggernaut down there in the SEC for Ole Miss. All the success you've had in the past, your name is a topic of discussion everywhere, seemingly, and will be for the rest of your life. It's a good thing. I don't think it's a bad thing, because it means that you're having success, which is why other people are certainly going to mention your name whenever jobs open up. But there's a rumor now circulating on the internet, and we appreciate you joining us here to maybe kind of clarify this. Was there like an ultimatum given to you in the middle of a season from Ole Miss? It feels like the way I'm reading it on the internet is that Ole Miss has told you, and you were doing yoga, I guess, this morning with the AD. Ole Miss has told you, like, we need an answer. Is that true? And how are you handling it all with the team with what's currently taking place?
Yeah, that's absolutely not true. There's been no ultimatum, anything like that at all. And so I don't know where that came from, like a lot of stuff that comes out there. Like I said, man, we're having a blast. I love it here. I mean, our running back's sitting right over here. Come on over. And it just couldn't be better. Like I said, you pray for things. Our fans prayed for this type of thing, and now we're in the middle of it. So enjoy it. You're 10-1. You're getting ready. You got a bye week. You get to watch half the country lose, and there's no way we can lose Saturday. And then you play the Egg Bowl and go dominate that and keep that Egg Bowl trophy home where it's been for a long time.
All right, Matt, you believe him?
I believe that he is letting Jimmy Sexton do what Jimmy Sexton does best. I mean, think about where he could, if he wants to, where he can drive this price. Florida desperately wants him. LSU desperately wants him. Ole Miss desperately wants him to stay. I mean, where does this end? I mean, he has what we all dream of having. I think I had it once in my life. The morning news was trying to keep me, and ESPN.com was, and of course, I didn't really know how to play it. I probably could have played it a lot better than I did. I went to ESPN.com, and then a month into it, was desperately trying to go back to the morning news. That's how well I played it. I was like, let me go back to the lower salary because I missed the morning news. That's literally what I was trying to do. The one time I had, quite a bit of leverage in my career. I think Lane and his agent will play it brilliantly. I think Florida thinks it has an advantage on LSU in that I think Lane idolized Spurrier, and Spurrier's a tried and true Florida guy. And I think Florida thinks that's the advantage it has. Both schools are capable of putting up somewhere, but like literally this thing could go like an NFL type salary. We're talking like $12 to $15 million a year. Whatever Saban was making at Alabama, it's going up that direction. Whatever Dabo makes at Clemson, I mean, it's Kirby might be up there, obviously at the top. That's where this thing is going. I think he would. I mean, if you just look at what's happened at LSU over the past decade or so, like I think he would be foolish to take that job. I even think he might be foolish to take the Florida job. Like he's got the greatest gig. If he keeps winning 9 or 10 games a year, he literally can coach out his career at Ole Miss. But he has an enormous ego, like a lot of these guys. His is even bigger than most. And I do think he kind of gets restless and probably thinks, change might be fun. Like, let me tell you how this is going to play out. If he does leave Ole Miss and goes to LSU or Florida, he'll be there and he'll try to win a national title. And then he'll want another shot at the NFL because he crashed and burned so badly with the Raiders all those years ago. So none of this is like final destination stuff. Kiffin's going to probably take one of these jobs. And even if he doesn't, he's eventually, when he's like 52 or 53, he's going to become an NFL head coach because his ego, these coaches aren't wired like they used to be. They're not Grant Taft. Let's settle in here. I love this place. Even though I've got these opportunities, I'm going to stay. Their ego tells them, I gotta keep going. And but what's interesting to me is I could see him staying and then eventually being the head coach at Alabama. I think that's the end game here, because is DeBoer's had a fine year, but you saw him just lose to OU. The Alabama people will turn on DeBoer every time he loses. They'll be ready to get a new coach. Kalen DeBoer is not long for Alabama. I assure you of that. So to me, if I were Kiffin and I were playing the long game here, I would stay at Ole Miss and know that Alabama's going to open in the next year or two. And I think from just a college football, just the stature of all these schools, Alabama's bigger than LSU. It's bigger than Florida. It's bigger than Georgia. It just is. And there's not, unless you want to try to throw Ohio State or in the mix, there's not a bigger job in the country than Alabama. So I haven't, honestly, that thought just popped into my head, Scotty, but I think I'm onto something the more I talk about it. I think Alabama is his end game.
Yeah, that would make a lot of sense to me. Though, DeBoer still has a chance to do something really special with him this season or even next. But yeah, that makes sense. Something else I would want to hit if we're in Campus Confidential, Matt. Did you see the Sam Levitt news?
So glad you brought it up. Yes. And and again, it's like these family members get involved and stuff, and things get murky.
For those who haven't seen it, On3 was the first to report Sam Levitt. And the phrase I believe the tweet used, Matt, and I don't have the screenshot here, but I think it's is being shopped. They are seeing what he can make out there playing somewhere else. I think what was most disappointing for me about it is this season's not over, man. I know he's injured, he's shut down for the year, but we've got games to play, and the kid is already apparently, halfway out the door to Arizona State to chase a bag. Kind of rubbed me the wrong way, if I'm being honest with you. I get it. I know it's the time we're in. Kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Yeah. Honestly, if I were LSU or Florida, why in the world would you not be trying to get that package? Why would you not be trying to get Dillingham and Levitt? I get what you're saying. And that was Pete Nakos, I think, from On3 who had that report. I think, he is extremely talented young quarterback. He's had some ups and downs this season, but you don't think, think about what Duke just paid a guy, that Mensa that we've talked about. Scotty, you've brought him up recently.
Yeah.
They paid him $3 million for one season. Darian Mensa. There's a universe where Levitt makes $5 million somewhere next year. And I don't know. It could be a variety of different places, because we used to say to ourselves, well, it would be Ohio State, or, we would Michigan, we'd name the big blue bloods. And the truth is, I don't know where Baron Morton is in his time at Texas Tech, but you don't think Texas Tech could load up and go get Sam Levitt if they wanted him? My goodness. Cody Campbell would do that in his sleep. So, I'm with you. It's not a great look. I would imagine they did not want this report out, the family, but they haven't really shot it down completely. And so we'll see where it ends. And I think the good news for Arizona State is this Sims, is that his name, Scotty? Jeff Sims or something?
Yes.
He's putting up pretty good numbers. I don't know if he's great, but he stepped in and he's doing a pretty nice job. So Arizona State will be okay. That coach is too good, and he does too good a job recruiting to get left in a lurch. But this tells you where it is, where we are in this world now, is that you've got a kid who was like a borderline Heisman candidate, I think, between he and Sawyer, maybe one other, going into the season. Avery Johnson, a couple others, the kid at Kansas, were considered the best quarterbacks in the Big 12. And now he's just out there like, okay, who wants to come in here? Who's the highest bidder? I mean, the truth is, there's Florida would want him. LSU would want him. There's no shortage of opportunities. Now, the guy at Tennessee misplayed his hand horribly and ended up at UCLA for not much money. So you got to be careful here. But I would have, I'm sure Arizona State fans, and to me, it makes me appreciate Sawyer Robertson even more, because Sawyer was so great last season down the stretch that you would have thought that somebody could have come after him for huge money. And I don't really think Sawyer took a look at it at all. He's such a extremely mature guy. But anyway, and we'll have to, that again, I'm going to send you that. We're going to listen later to some Dave Aranda. But what I'll do, Scotty, I was just looking at that one clip. I'll send that to you so we don't have to listen to all of Dave. But that answer from Dave Aranda from yesterday really did get my attention involving Sawyer Robertson. All right, Scotty, what else do you have, sir?
Man, I think those were the two main stories I wanted to hit, and I knew we wanted to get to Dave, so I haven't looked at too many other topics this morning.
Okay.
The Levitt piece was a big deal, though.
I think so. And I told, and we'll take a quick break here in a little bit, and we'll come back. We'll do some Dave, and again to finish the show today at about 2:30. I will give you a hard run at the Cowboys. We'll hear a little bit from Dak and some of the things he had to say after last night's game. I thought he did a really nice job, and I thought he represented. And I thought they all. And then Scotty, I just read the quote. I need to find the audio of it, but Jerry talking about Pickens is very funny. Like, I've seen Jerry intoxicated with his own players or by his own players and opposing players. One time it was RG3, by the way. RG3 came in his rookie season, I think it was, and just put it on the Cowboys. And you just could not believe what Jerry had to say after that game. He was talking in a similar vein about George Pickens. And, boy, that's going to lead to an interesting discussion, because I think the Cowboys are going to have to decide, do we franchise him? Do we try to get him long-term? Can you have two wide receivers, paying them both around $30 to $35 million a year? I guess. But, I mean, you already have three defensive linemen now making $20 million or more a year with Quinnen Williams coming in. You got Osa and you got Kenny Clark. I mean, how many like frontline, crazy, highly paid guys can you have? I mean, I know you save money not having to pay Micah, but it is a conversation worth having. Scotty, the Baylor people continue to come to me. They come to us. They're wanting information. Everybody's looking to see. I can tell you, because what I want to try to do is, we've had a lot of insight, a lot of opinion about what Baylor needs to do. One of the things on my plate that I'm trying to determine right now, Scotty, is like, how quickly is this thing moving? If you need to do an AD search, that thing should have started last week. I do not believe Baylor has reached out to Jeremiah Dickey in his camp. That leads me to believe that no one has also reached out to Jared Mosley, the AD at UNT, who has a talented coach and a talented quarterback on his staff. If you went that direction, you could get like the triumvirate. You literally could get a head coach, AD, and talented quarterback, Westmaker, at the same time. that's kind of interesting. I mean, it's pretty rare that you'd be able to do something like that. He's not. I mean, Jared Mosley, I've had him on, and I love the guy. I mean, he's great. He'd also be the tallest AD in the country at 6'9". He's like 6'8" or 6'9". And he's a dude, man. He's a guy you would put out there as your AD, and you'd be really proud of him because he gets up in the student section, takes that shirt off, and he is ripped. Now, I'm not out there. I don't want you to be like, well, Mosley's trying to find the most ripped. Is he more ripped than my friend Jeremiah Dickey? Yes, he is. Yes, he is. But I don't think that's why you should choose an AD, obviously. Ren Baker, the reason we come to Ren Baker's the AD out at West Virginia. He's good. He was at UNT. All of these people know Mac. What I don't think Baylor should do is be like, well, these people were too close to Mac. We can't have anybody close to Mac Rhoades. Give me a break. I mean, Mac Rhoades screwed up, okay, and had the thing with Trigg was just, that's crazy. He should, it's bad. And should you never be an AD again because of that? No. Baylor did the deal. They moved on. They decided, okay, we don't like that. We did whatever punishment, but we've all moved on. Then that story got out. Then Mac's gotten involved in something else that has apparently tripped Baylor has the moral stuff that comes up. Would you find any of the stuff at the University of Texas or Texas A&M? No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Should he be involved in whatever it was? No, he shouldn't have. All right. So, but it just is not. The thing I keep coming back to, because I know there are people like, well, why couldn't Baylor just forgive Mac? Well, they could, but he's on a leave of absence and he's not around to even fire a coach or decide to keep him. Like, he's out of the picture right now. That's not how you can't, if your AD's not available to you, it's kind of hard to keep him around. So then you put Jovan and Cody, who are kind of running the day-to-day right now, in a tough spot. All right, well, let's make a decision, and then we'll have Mac come back in here, and we'll all live with that decision. I mean, again, Mac's a friend of mine. If you think I've abandoned Mac, you'd be wrong. I mean, I'm checking in on him to see how he's doing. I mean, he's not talking to me, and that's fine. So I'm not going to keep checking in like, hey, what's going on? What's going on? I'm just letting him know that I hate that he's going through this. I'm not going to badger him like, okay, I'm going to keep texting you until you respond. Have I done that to people before? Yeah, because I'm a reporter. All right. That's what I do. When I want an answer, I'm going to stay after people and I'm going to jump on them, and I'm going to, hey, there's people at Baylor that love talking, that are not scared of reporters. And then there are people at Baylor that are scared of their own shadow. Oh my gosh, I can't talk to Mosley. That's fine. I don't get mad at them for it. It's probably smart of them. But that's kind of where we are in all of this right now. I see the thing with Jeremiah, just to try to peel back the curtain a little bit more, that's difficult is they still, for now, Mac's the AD. He's being paid. He's on paid leave. Those guys are very close. I mean, now the reason I don't think that's, though, eliminates hiring Dickey is because, first of all, he knows Baylor. I would say Mac was always at his best, whether it be Missouri or Houston or wherever he's been. Like, he had Jeremiah Dickey by his side. Like, so Jeremiah, it would not be bad right now, knowing what you got to make huge decisions on Dave Aranda, to have somebody that knows everybody. He knows the donors, he knows the board and everything. So I don't think his association with Mac should be an eliminating factor. In fact, I think Mac, in some ways, was at his best when he had Jeremiah with him. And if you think about it, he's kind of faltered and made some mistakes, both personally and professionally, with Jeremiah gone. Now, again, I got to watch it here because I don't want to put that on. I mean, these other folks that are trying to do their day-to-day jobs in administration are great. And they didn't know whatever Mac had gotten himself into. I mean, they're not, I say that, I don't know for sure that they didn't, but I don't think so. It doesn't strike me as people that would have known that at all. So we'll see where this thing goes. But I would say you can't really reach out to Dickie right now because the awkward nature of he and Mac being very close friends and very close associates. And I think Jeremiah would guard against any sort of optics that he's like dying to have this job. Now, so that's an awkward dance to do. That said, he loves this university. And I think, and by the way, he's done a great job at Boise State. He had to fire a coach there. Then a coach led him to like the Mountain West championship game, and he hired him, Spencer Danielson or something. I can't think of the guy's name, but he hired that Boise State coach, and Boise State's been really good. People love what he's done at Boise State, and those people love him out there. So I guess what I'm saying is he's got a tricky one to go right now because he's got to be there for his friend in an extremely difficult time. But if you ask me, would Jeremiah Dickey consider being the AD at Baylor University? Absolutely. The answer is yes. Because I do think he loves the school. He loved his time there. He knows everybody. And this is the hire where you could literally get some quick decisions made. And this guy, I mean, we all have decisions we've made in life that we regret. And so I'm never going to say, well, this person doesn't have any skeletons in the closet. I don't know. But I'm just saying he's regarded as a man of extreme integrity and high character. So if you're like, oh, man, should we do a background check? Sure, do one. I don't think you're going to find anything on him. Same thing with Mosley, cousin Mosley, Jared Mosley. We're not kin, but we joked about it in the past. Great guy. But the guy at West Virginia that's been mentioned has the most experience. That's Ren Baker. Good guy. And would do an incredible job. Dickey has the second most. Jared Mosley at UNT has the third most. It's just that Jared Mosley would like bring all this stuff with him possibly. Jared, could you bring your head coach and your quarterback and maybe your star wide receiver as well? And I think Jared Mosley would be like, yeah, we can try. I mean, we could probably do that. All this happening while we're asking Dave Aranda to go out and try to win a game and get them to a bowl, get them to bowl eligible. Does bowl eligible mean anything to Baylor people? Not really. Not really. Used to. There have been times when it would have been a great deal. But we also have part of our fan base, and I kind of hate to admit this, but we do still have a significant part of our fan base. I don't know how vocal they are these days. That is kind of like, stop being mean to Dave. 6 wins. Think how we used to kill for 6 wins. Think about how bad we used to be. At least we're bowl eligible. It's an apathy. I'm just saying that part of the fan base is still out there, and let's not act like they're not. All right. And they're probably more significant than a lot of us would like to let on. And what we would do is make the case, let Dave have one. I mean, again, wouldn't it? I mean, it's going to be, that's a tough sell. No matter, I don't even care if he wins the last 2 games and you're 7-5. It's a tough sell to bring him back because he's a smart, good person, but he is not an inspiring person. All right. I mean, I think, I don't know. I mean, I think Dave needs to think about several things, like even just like a new technique, like maybe wear sunglasses indoors like I do, like just something different that maybe changes up his, I don't know. No, that's my thing. All right. I'm not going to let Dave have that. But he needs to do something because the path that they're currently on, nobody's going to want to give money. The donors, why would you come in here and just throw a cannon of cash at this thing right now? Who in the world would want to do that? Now, if you had I don't know if he needs to be young. If you had an offensive coach that took this fan base, let's just stop hiding it. What this fan base desperately wants is to have somebody like Brazos and to go back to when football was fun. And there are probably people out there like that, But the thing you can't do is do this whole thing with, we're like 10th on the deal and we can't get a coach. You're freaking Baylor. You should be able. You got tons of money. You can find your donors will step up. You can find a good head coach. What a loser's attitude to be like, we're behind LSU and Florida and Ohio State. I know you are, but get creative. Go find somebody worth a dang. Golly, man, what a loser's attitude. Well, we're like, 10th on the draft pick. We get the 10th best coach. No, go be creative. Put a dang committee together and go find somebody. I'll serve. I'd be first in line. Hey, Scotty's already put 30 people together. I mean, that thing may not see the light of day, that story he's been writing or whatever he's doing with it. But I mean, there are people out there that would love to be the head coach at Baylor. Let's stop talking about people that don't want to be the coach at Baylor. We spend too much time on that. All right. Are we going to get Lane Kiffin? No. I mean, but that's okay. That's okay. There are people we could get. All right. I tell you what, let's get into, we're going to hear from Dave a little bit. I promised you that, and a couple of clips we'll play for you on that front and react to it. And one thing he said about Sawyer Robertson, I did not like. And so I want you guys to listen to it. I'm going to listen to it again because I listened to it real quickly but I didn't like it at first. I'm going to listen to it, think about it. We're going to have a discussion about it next.
Introducing Muck-Off's classic pink bike cleaner, powered by revolutionary nanotechnology that breaks down dirt and grime on a microscopic level while protecting your bike's delicate finish. us.muc-off.com.
At Open Goal USA, we're revolutionizing training for both soccer and lacrosse with our innovative portable rebounders. Perfect for players of all ages and skill levels. Visit OpenGoAAALusa.com and elevate your training today.
Looking for tickets to the hottest shows, games, and events? Ticket Liquidator is your one-stop shop for great prices, no hassles, and guaranteed tickets. Whether it's sports, theater, or concert, for the best seats at the biggest events, start with Ticket Liquidator today at ticketliquidator.com. Ticket Liquidator.
Send money abroad in just a few steps with Remitly. Sign up with your email, enter an amount, choose how your loved ones receive the money, enter your recipient's information, select a payment method, hit send, and relax. Download the Remitly app today.
Hi, I'm Mitch, the co-founder of Cake, a sexual health and wellness company designed for today and designed for you. Yes, you. The entire product line can be found at hellocake.com, and it's also available in every Walmart near you.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform
at your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we were hoping Coach Collin would bring that championship mindset to do whatever she has to do to take our workplace culture to the next level.
Well, these donuts are pretty good.
Guys, how we doing?
We're good, Coach.
Craig! What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You have to dunk it.
So far, I think our employees are really enjoying it.
Not everything's a basketball thing.
Did you say something, Craig?
No, ma'am.
That's what I thought.
Dude, I think she likes you.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
Football is back, and Underdog is the best place to make picks and win money all season long. Playing on Underdog is easy. Just pick whether your favorite players will go higher or lower on stats like touchdowns, receiving yards, interceptions, and more. Get your picks right, and you could win up to 5,000 times your cash. You can play with as little as $1. Download the app today and sign up with promo code Mosley to score $50 in bonus funds when you play your first $5. That's promo code MOSLEY. Millions of fans have already won billions making picks on Underdog. Will you be next? Underdog, make picks, win money.
Must be 18 plus, 19 plus in Alabama and Nebraska, 19 plus in Colorado for some games, 21 plus in Arizona, Massachusetts, and Virginia, and present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/play-and-get-terms_DFS_.html for details. Offer not valid in Maryland, Michigan, Ohio, and Pennsylvania. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org. In New York, call the 24/7 HOPE line at 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369.
Welcome back. Underdog. Not just something we run an ad for. It's something I play every day. By the way, I won money last night. I won money on my Monday Night Football picks, and this is where Underdog is a great product. I won money because I did a flex pick, and so if you remember my 3 picks for Monday Night Football, I got 2 of them right, which means I didn't lose my money. I actually won money. So tonight, here are my picks on Underdog. I'm going NBA action. Jimmy Butler, higher than half a three-pointer made. Derek White higher than 14.5 points. By the way, I think he's had at least 18 in their last 5 games. De'Aaron Fox, listen, I'm going lower than 25.5 points. I don't always pick the lower, but he hasn't scored that total in 5 games straight. And we know who the offense runs through in San Antonio. It's not the point guard. It's the Wembanyama, the space alien they have playing the 5, if you can even call it that. And then Luka Doncic. I love these opportunities to combine points plus rebounds plus assists. Luka does all 3 well. Give me higher than 44.5 points plus rebounds plus assists against Utah tonight. By the way, I bet Mosley saw Keontae George with a big shot, game winner for Utah over the weekend. Sick 'em Bears. Those are my picks tonight. If you want to play along, use the promo code Mosley. Get a free $50 in bonus cash when you put in 5, just so you can make picks and play all season long.
Oh, I like it. I like it. Good stuff there, Scotty. Underdog. We appreciate everybody. Thanks to the Twitter audience. More and more people discovering us. And I mean, we're not that hard to discover. We've been out there for a little bit here, but appreciate everybody. This Baylor thing. A lot of people have wanted our comments on that. Scotty, I just sent you a couple of texts. I don't know how hard. We'll see. All right. We'll see, because I want to hear from Dave Aranda here. And oh, good, Scotty. Funny. Scotty got it. I was looking. Scotty and I sometimes have to visit with each other via text, and so we're going to hear a little bit from Dave Aranda. But Scotty does have. Scotty, before we do that, I love, and we'll have more. I thought the I got to remember this. 1 o'clock today. We're trying to get you the latest information on Baylor. What are they going to do at AD? What is Mac's fate? We're just know that we're staying on top of it. They're kind of in lockdown mode right now. But I am told President Livingstone is in charge. I think, obviously, if they're trying to if they need a new AD in here to make a decision, or if they want to make the decision for the AD, so the AD didn't have to come in here and fire a coach before they've really had time to kind of evaluate what's going on. This is going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and we will have more of that for you. I mentioned earlier in the show today that I loved George W. Bush being on with the Mannings last night. He was funny, and obviously they had prepped him a little bit, but his comic timing is good. I don't know how old would George W. Bush be now? Has he turned 80? He looks good, and but I just, to me, he's one of they've had some really funny guests, and they might have had Bargatze on, but anyway, it's been good. They've had comedians. They had Shane, what's his name, on, who I'm trying to remember. I don't know if he was that great when he came on, but it's been very funny. And I love the Manning cast. And Scotty pulled just a couple of clips here. Scotty, let's check out a little bit former President Bush's appearance last night on the Manning cast.
Mr. President, Eli and I followed our father into the family business, becoming quarterbacks. You followed your father into the family business, too, becoming the most powerful person in the world. I'm not going to say which is more impressive, but Mr. President, when you were growing up, did you think you would go into public service?
No. I'd have behaved a hell of a lot better in college. No, I really didn't. I admired my dad. I admired my dad a lot. And if you'd asked me the red zone, by the way, I'd have said it was going to be Pickens. Well, Pickens would catch a touchdown, but I missed it by a step. But, yeah, Dad was great. He was a guy that was a wonderful man, but he never said, this is what you have to do with your life. He just said, here's this kind of way I'd like you to live, honesty and decency and compassion, but you be what you want to be. And it took me a while to figure out what I wanted to be, by the way.
I like that. I like the timing of that. I would have acted a hell of a lot different in college. And then it was good. And I also like, they're trying to ask him somewhat of a meaningful question. He had a good joke. And then they do the stupid thing where they make people predict when they get down the red zone, whether it's going to be a field goal or what the play might be. And they get to get their face on the board if they get it right, the prediction and all that. And like he's sitting there trying to talk about his dad, and the president's interested. He's like, was that? And then later, Scotty, when it was, I think CD caught it, and maybe president had predicted Pickens would. He was like, is that Pickens? Is that Pickens? Like he was all caught up in it. It was very funny. I liked it last night. Scotty, I did want to, we'll hear a little bit from Coach Aranda here in a second. And there are a couple of things he said that grabbed my attention yesterday at his news conference. That'll be the only time we hear from him. Wait, is it a home game or it's a road game? So he will not be appearing at the Wednesday night thing with John Morris. Lord knows he's not going to do that every week like other coaches do. Listen to this. As part of the new A&M deal Mike Elko signed, he wanted his assistant, Scotty, to receive contract bonuses on par with his own. He said, certainly I'm no more valuable to this team than they are. We were able to get that done, and it will go into effect immediately. That was really important to me. That's it, man. That's the way you do it in life. I mean, honestly, I was saying that about Rule yesterday. I mean, there's some things about Matt Rule that drive me nuts. But when you hear people that he brought with him, I mean, he changed Joey McGuire's life forever. Sean Bell, some guy yesterday was a coach somewhere I'm trying to think where maybe as a coordinator. I guess Nebraska's getting ready to play somebody, and the guy said, "Yeah, Matt Rule. I was a high school coach. He was recruiting one of my players, and he invited me to come be around his staff, and he hired me, and that's how my career got going with college football. Like, man, that's what it's about. Like, if you have some measure of success, bring some people along with you." And that's a great attitude by Elko. He's going to sign this huge extension, huge bonus. And he's like, no. I got to, as part of this thing, I got to have my assistants taken care of too. That's how you get maybe Colin Klein and others to stay with you. Boy, I had people mad about Colin Klein the other day, Scotty, because there they are. They're up 31-30. They're down there about to score again, and he throws behind the line of scrimmage, and it was like a fumble. It was a weird moment. Oh, boy, they're beating up on Colin Klein now. How could Colin Klein do that? Okay, all right. I mean, it's one play call. I know it was a bad play call, but let's just decide he's not a good candidate now because he had a bad play call in that game. But anyway, I thought that was a pretty cool thing that Mike Elko is doing. And I say that knowing Scotty and others may go, "Oh, Mosley, here he is again, being all nice to the Ags." Scotty, should it be a violation? One of my Texas Tech buddies went to see Georgia in Texas. Now, their daughters went with them, and his daughter is a freshman at UT. Now, my other buddy is an Aggie, but his daughter goes to Georgia. And he was out there in Georgia stuff. That makes more sense to me because he put on Georgia stuff because the Aggies in Georgia aren't playing. He's just supporting his daughter. My other buddy, who's a Red Raider, in these pictures is showing up with a UT with a Longhorn cap on. I understand UT no longer plays in the Big 12, but dang, man, Texas Tech and what do you think, Scotty? How would you rule on that? I mean, it would be like me with my daughter going to A&M, showing up with an A&M cap on, something I would obviously never do. Is that a violation, or are we okay with that? His daughter goes to UT.
Matt.
But yes.
Are you asking me for permission to wear A&M gear? That's kind of how this is coming.
No, it just popped into my head because I just seen that picture. No. I'm not even. Now, would I consider doing a gig-em in a photo? I got to think through that. I don't think so. Occasionally, I give people like a thumbs up, then that could be considered.
You are demonstrating what we Baptists might call the old slippery slope. First, you let your kid go there. Then you start going to the games. Then you start talking real good about the coach. Then you start evaluating your friends' decisions. Then you do a gig-em. Then you wear a cap. Next thing we know, this is going to become a Texas A&M football show. And old Scotty is going to have to keep wearing this Sailor Bear cap to remind you who we are.
In terms of bringing in YouTube signups, it might not be the worst decision we could make.
You are unfortunately probably correct.
We're going to be on Texags. 1 to 3 Texags. No, I am Baylor through and through. My great grandparents went there, of all things. All right, the late great Dow Hendricks and Mary Hendricks. They were, she was Mary Powell at the time, but they may have gotten married in college. People did that back then. But anyway, back in the aughts, 1914, L. Dow Hendricks. And now he was a superintendent of schools in Collin County later in life. And now, Scotty, the L. Dow Elementary right out there in Anna, Texas. Beautiful, beautiful new elementary school. Wait. Is it elementary or middle school? Yeah, I think it is elementary. It's an elementary school. I went to the dedication. It was pretty neat. Okay, Scotty, we all know that Dave Aranda is not particularly like Like he's not a fiery man at the podium. That doesn't mean he doesn't say. He does say interesting things from time to time. Yesterday, Scotty gathered the YouTube offering of the Dave Aranda live show that it comes out at 10:45 on Mondays. All right. This is not one of the higher rated YouTube moments in all the land, but people, because of what's going on right now, people do have an interest in what Dave is saying. Scotty, let's play this, and then I might stop it at certain points and react, but let's check in with Dave Aranda's news conference from yesterday.
It's good to see you guys. Really tough game to watch. A lot of missed opportunities. I thought defensively, I thought the first 2 drives was kind of what I was expecting and really working for the entire game. I thought some of the line stunts we were doing and the quarters coverage that we're playing, guys were where they needed to be. A lot of the early drives was 11 personnel, and they went to 12 personnel, and we had a line movement package for that, and we didn't execute that as well. And there's a motion, and we got to get it back in the box. He didn't come in the box. He stayed outside. We have too many guys outside, and it pops. But then we get back to playing consistently, and it was, from then on, it was a mix of the inconsistent spacing. We'd have 9 guys or 10 guys where we need them to be, and 1 or 2 where we don't. And we couldn't get it over that hump. I thought offensively, a lot of zero blitz, more zero than we've seen all year. I think there was parts of man free that we saw early in the game, and we're able to run some pick routes and rub routes essentially and be able to make some plays on it. With a lot of the zone we saw, we're way effective on and really got them out of the zone. And, I think their third thing to go to was zero blitz. And it was basically that way for the rest of the game. And we could never quite get a throw and a catch to exploit it. We're a drop away, a miss away, a play away from, an 8-yard slant going 80 yards. And, if we would have gotten that early in the game, I think it's a different game. And so just frustrating.
Scotty,
I think the emotions rolling over at the end.
Scotty, I just hope we heard what I just want to kind of reiterate what he just said. Bears just need a few more 80-yard touchdowns. Okay. Just need a couple more of those slants to go for 80 instead of dropping it or missing the throw. All right. And that would lead to good things. Never mind. At some point I looked up and it had gone to like 48-20. I mean, it was 28-20 and the Bears were hanging in there. All right, here we are, Bears. One of our patented comebacks. Let's play some ball. We're in this game. I looked up and it was 48-20 before you knew what had happened. And it was like 48-28 and you thought, oh my goodness, could they pull off one of these TCU things? They're only about 3 onside kicks away here. I mean, this is what it's come to. All right. So just keep that in mind. And then got to get that spacing right. Had the quarters, looked good early, and had about 8 or 9 players in the right spot. But Scotty, these days they do play with 11, and the old Bears couldn't adjust to a little old freshman quarterback. Didn't, to me, look kind of like a slight little fella. And he went out there and he was just like, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play some Wildcat, and I'm going to fake a handoff here, and then I'm going to pop a run outside, and I don't think anybody will ever touch me. I mean, this is either one of the fastest kids in the country or this is the worst defense in America. Okay? Could be both. Could be both. I think it's just one, though. And I'm afraid it's the latter rather than the former. Let's continue this, Scotty. Checking in with Dave. And boy, the more the more I think about this, if Dave Aranda is fired, where do I see him next year? Not that any Baylor person will be like, but I see him with Lane Kiffin. The Ole Miss is not great on defense. They're okay. They've been pretty explosive on offense. They've won a ton of games. And maybe he will just take his D coordinator and that'll be that. That's the kind of staff I see him on. I see him at Florida. I see him back at LSU, or I see him as the defensive coordinator at Ole Miss or back at Wisconsin. But it would not shock me if somebody like Lane Kiffin, right now, James Franklin's already putting his staff together over at Virginia Tech. All right. Virginia Tech has been first to strike in James Franklin's coaching again. I mean, Dave Aranda will get hired in 30 seconds and he'll be back in a place where he needs to be because he is not, it turns out he's not a head coach. And you know what? That's okay. We had one of those back in the day with Kevin Steele. And then Kevin Steele resumed his career. And for 20 years, he was a good assistant coach. All right. That's what happens. It's okay. It's okay. It's just we wasted too much time. We wasted too much of our university's money and time, whispering around. All right. What do you got for us, Scotty? Let's continue. Let's tell the folks what they've won.
Is disappointing, and it's not us, and we're dealing with that now.
It's absolutely
but
you.
This morning's meetings was really good to move focus and to work on to a really good opponent here coming up. A lot of respect for Coach Brennan. I've known him, and when I was at Cal Lu, I remember him interviewing for a job at Cal Lu. I was a student at Cal Lutheran, and I was a student assistant, and our head coach there, Scott Squires, had me as a part of the interview process. And Brent came in, and we interviewed him. I remember I had a question or two questions. Every guy had a question that sat around the table. And he's just getting grilled, in the interview deal. This was 1990-something, So I've known him ever since then. A lot of respect for him. He's a great guy. I want to see him do well. And I know he's got his team playing well. Take any questions you guys got.
Dave, with the Big 12 championship off the table in terms of goals, how have y'all sort of managed resetting goals, and has that been hard? Because guys may be kind of disappointed that now they're shooting for maybe a bowl game.
Yeah, we're working really hard to win. I think that's the goal, and to play better and to improve. And so so much of what we talk about is past performance doesn't predict anything in the future, right? Just because you won doesn't mean you're going to win next week, or just because you lost, no matter what the loss, doesn't mean you're going to lose next week. It's the choices that you make.
How can you even mention
the effort that you bring? Yes,
the same breath as a Big 12. Oh, sorry, Scotty. I'm sorry. I was providing my own commentary.
Attitude that you decide on. Those are the things. So we're really focused on that. Trying to go 1-0 today, if we can.
Coach, you talked a lot about the players blocking out noise on the outside stuff. How do you personally do that when, there's certainly some stuff that's probably hard to ignore. How do you handle that?
I just get focused on the job, and then when I'm not doing it, don't go to my phone, and then I'm so exhausted, I crash, And so a lot of work to get done. I thought, the bye week was a bunch of work going into this last one. So it's just so frustrating that the outcome was what it was. This is just when you come off a bye, and it's so much of a faster week, just a normal week. And so there's so much work that's got to get done. There's really no time for anything but trying to get right to it. So I think all of that, and then just not looking at your phone.
Dave, on the defensive side, you talked about where y'all got out of gaps and stuff. Was it more on the second level? Was it some up front? I
thought our linebackers played their worst game. I thought, you look at every touchdown just about that we gave up, it was that position group. And it's just, I don't know. We talked about, we had in 11 personnel, and then in 12 personnel, we just played one coverage the whole game, but we had different fronts with stunts and stuff. Really kind of simple stuff, and we just, I think one of the things that we talked about this morning was here's all the clips of us in practice doing it right, and here's the first time we see it in a game and we do it wrong. There's a lot of hard answers that have to come from that question.
Dave, do you feel like Sawyer, who was having such a great start, could, not the burden, but the fact that he almost had to play the perfect game for you guys to have a chance to win, has he cracked in a way, and I don't mean that like fragile, but I hope you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I think the pressure got to him. I think, there was, Sawyer could have played a better game, and, I could have called a better game. Our DBs could have tackled better in the game. But I thought that there's plays that we got to make versus how they're playing us, right? Whether it's man-to-man, and, I think Cole, we're able to connect with Cole on one or two. There's a whole lot more out there of just fade balls from that slot position. And I thought we're there, and we got to get it there. And then, the zero blitz, there's multiple times that we got inside breaking routes, and we got to connect with them. And I think, without Sawyer, we're not able to win any games. We're not to be in any type of position to get to a bowl game or to be competitive or any of those things. And so I just think Sawyer always wants to do what's right, and he always wants to go above and beyond. And so I think kind of get it to where it's kind of refocused and, hey man, just make this play. Let's execute this. I think to get it back to that level would be good for everybody.
Dave, I saw Carl Williams in street clothes during the game.
Let's talk. Because like the last person I care about is Carl Williams, who's not been with, he's been listed as whatever, questionable all season. Carl Williams in street clothes means nothing to me. Scotty, join me for a second. I thought that was interesting on Sawyer. I don't know, the pressure got to him. Now, he was responding to a question of, regarding, is there's so much that he has to do and carry the team. What I started to think did Dave think, Dave's such a football guy, was Dave thinking about like the pressure that they were bringing from Utah? Or was Dave talking truly about, pressure got to him? Because if that's what Dave was talking about, that's kind of a rough thing to say about your quarterback. Like basically, pressure's gotten to our quarterback. He's kind of, because the way the question was asked, was that David? I don't know. He sounded different for some reason. The question was asked sort of like, almost like, is he having to do so much? Not that he's fragile, but like, is it just too much pressure week in, week out? I think that was the impetus for the question. And so Dave answers that, and he goes on to say very nice things. So we wanted to play the whole context of that answer. And basically like, we wouldn't be where we were, which by the way, isn't anywhere great. They're 5-5, but without Sawyer, which is true. But he started out by saying, the pressure got to him. He could have played better. Did you interpret that, Scotty? Is Dave basically saying that the pressure week to week of having to just almost be perfect for Baylor to have any chance has gotten to Sawyer Robertson?
Yeah, I think that's what he was saying. Yeah.
Wow.
And to your point, I think that's a pretty leading question from Smoke. And so, maybe Dave didn't pivot out of that the way that he would if he could do it over again. But I think that's exactly what he means. Yeah. And by the way, human, understandable. I think a lot of us might have guessed that before Dave said it, hence why, Smokey asked the question. I think that's what he was saying.
Yeah. Weird. And then, Scotty, by the way, and we'll take a break here in a second, but like right before that, Dave is fighting for Dave right now.
Yep.
Because Dave threw those linebackers under the bus. He doesn't normally do that. And I'm okay with coaches that say these guys didn't play well, he should have played better. That's okay. But like, worst game of the year, the linebacker. I mean, basically he said the linebackers were lousy in this game. And a lot of times, you hear a coach go, that's on me. I should have done better. He didn't follow up with that. What he's basically saying is, and what he's trying to say to the media and to the fans via the media is, here's how we coached them. Here's how they looked in practice. And then they went out there and ran around, like some yahoos. That's basically what he was getting at. Our linebackers played horrible. Now, on one of those plays where old Bird Ficklin, the legend that he is, the bird is the word, Bird Ficklin got out in the open field, and I did see Keaton. Keaton's just like, Keaton's been a great player, a great guy, great leader, okay? But yeah, I did see number 11 just kind of wandering around back there. But man, that is... And by the way, people are like, how could you criticize these college kids? I don't know. Maybe the fact that they're making more than all of us probably is going to get them a little more criticism than they've had in the past. Is that so bad? I don't know. These quarterbacks are making at least $500,000 to $1 million a year, maybe more. Are we supposed to sit here and go, well, he'll be okay. He'll be better. He'll be better next week. And by the way, I understand it if Sawyer is dealing with that, but that's interesting to hear a head coach come out and go, yeah, I think the pressure's getting to him. Yee. I kind of had a cringe moment when I heard that. All right, Scotty, we got a couple of Cowboys things to wrap up with. Let's hear from the greatness of C&B, Ascension. Oh, man, the Brazos Landing. Let's hear from our people real quick. Our unbelievable law firm, Cherry Johnson's Siegmund James. Let's hear from all them, and then we'll close it out with a little Cowboys next.
If you want the best for your body, you want Ascension Providence, the largest sports and orthopedics group in Central Texas. Using innovative and cutting-edge technology, we're able to understand your body better than ever, delivering treatment with precision. And with our fellowship-trained and board-certified doctors, you'll receive excellent care. Work with a team dedicated to your health, wellness, and safety.
So you can perform.
At your best.
Ascension Providence, caring for Texas families for over 120 years.
When Central National Bank decided to partner with Baylor women's basketball, we were hoping Coach Colin would bring that championship mindset to do whatever she has to do to take our workplace culture to the next level.
Well, these donuts are pretty good.
Guys, how we doing?
We're good, Coach.
Craig! What are you doing?
What do you mean?
You have to dunk it.
So far, I think our employees are really enjoying it.
Not everything's a basketball thing.
Did you say something, Craig?
No, ma'am.
That's what I thought.
Dude, I think she likes you.
Central National Bank, proud partner of Baylor Athletics and Baylor Women's Basketball.
Baylor Nation rolls along with Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram. Start with award-winning service and factory-trained techs. Then shop our new and used lineup. From cars, trucks, to SUVs, all makes and models. Running a business? We're your Central Texas headquarters for ProMaster vans, cabin chassis, and work trucks. For power and comfort, test drive the Ram 1500, the Motor Trend Truck of the Year winner again. Allen Samuels in Waco, proud partner of Baylor Athletics.
Come by. Let's be friends.
Ah, yes. It is the Mosley show. And just sitting here thinking about Allen Samuels, watching that new 2025 Ram, that truck, durable, functional, stylish. Hurry in, shop the greatest selection in the store or online, by the way. Award-winning dealership with an award-winning product. That is Allen Samuels Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Waco. And, why do I talk about it? Well, because I go there. I've driven their vehicles. Ted Teague, their GM, the head honcho out there, is a longtime great friend of mine. And sometimes when I say things he doesn't like, he tells me. And I like that kind of feedback. I like a little confrontation in life. And it seems like people in my life like to give that to me. I used to enjoy it more. Now I like it kind of in moderation. It's like, I think drinking in moderation is best. I don't really partake, but I think also receiving criticism in moderation is best. I think if you get it every single day or every single hour, it's probably a bit much. I remember that when I was pledging all those years ago, I got a little too much criticism. But you know what I didn't do, Scotty? I did not cut and run. I hung in there. Man, so many people, I think that's really why people tune in, especially this huge Twitter audience we've gained, is just to kind of hear my old stories of being a Fiji pledge. I think they'd really like to get more of that if they could. Man, some of those, I'm having flashbacks as we speak. I can't even, I may just have some tears that come to mind here. We got to say goodbye. We always, at the end of the show, we praise the work of the Brazos Landing over there. Claude and Becky Lindsay do an incredible job. Take that bridge, you see it right over there across the river from Foster. What I've noticed is that people before these basketball games just love the ramp up, getting, because you got the outdoor bar. If the weather's pretty by the water, that New Orleans bar is very nice. The food's incredible. I judge a place by what kind of hush puppies they make. And I like the big, round, fluffy, not airy. I want something in the center that has some substance. And there's due. I also used to like the old Stagecoach Inn, and they screwed that up, of course. And then they tried to change the name of their hotel, which is the dumbest thing ever. Like I think of all the fumbles that people make, like literally having a famous roadside hotel, and then after about 100 years going, you know what? Let's call this Shady Villa instead of the Stagecoach Inn. Good job, guys. I mean, that's just. Why don't we just kind of run off every bit of business since people have been stopping there for about 70 years? Let's just screw that up, all right? Those are called unforced errors. Have I made a few in my career? You bet, but not one that bad. Goodness gracious. They did all those renovations, have a nice pool, everything. Hey, let's call it, why don't we call it Shady Villa? You think more people would come by? Oh, yeah, sure. That sounds great. Shady Villa. Well, I mean, nobody's even heard of that. What is that? I mean, people in Central Texas don't even, it can't even relate to that. Now, if you say Stagecoach Inn and they had that thing, even young Scotty, his parents would drive down there toward Austin. They say, Scotty, we're going to let you and your siblings get out here. And I think Scotty has 2 siblings. We're going to let y'all get out and play on this stagecoach. And that's what you did. That's what you did. If you were a kid and you grew up in Texas and you ever drove down 35, you'd get out, take some pictures on the stagecoach. And you go over there and get you some high-priced prime rib, and those women would just recite the menu to you. $11.95 prime rib, fried shrimp, $12.95, banana fritter, $13.95. All right, it is. We've reached the end of our broadcasting day, as hard as that is to believe. Scotty, let's say we might need some Dak tomorrow. Sometimes Scotty will gather some materials, and then in typical Mosley form, I will not get to that. But I thought Dak did an incredible job last night. More Cowboys tomorrow. The award-winning Baylor soccer coach. Baylor is like second round of the NCAA tournament. At least we're good at something. I mean, we're good at women's basketball, men's basketball, great at soccer. We got great at tennis. Michael Woodson and I were talking the other day, and men's and women's tennis, we're always good at that stuff too, and softball. My gosh, Glenn. So anyway, I take it all back. We're good at a lot of things. Glenn's a great coach. But they had something the other day, Scotty, like this event Friday night for the tennis team. And it was the coolest exhibition. They had all these pros that came in and former Baylor players against other pros. That guy is a cool dude, like Michael Woodson. Like, he's a guy, it's like, which coach do I want to hang out with? Like, well, probably Woodson. All right. Now, Glenn and I are probably, of all these guys, all these coaches, Scott and Glenn and I have the best, like, friendships, I think. But talking about Glenn Moore, but dang, man, that Michael Woodson, like, if we were going to go out and like just hang out, I'd be a guy I'd want to do that. I'd want to go hang out with. All right. And his brother, I think, now plays on the baseball team. His brother's like a shortstop or something. Isn't it interesting? Life is interesting. Scotty, more Cowboys to come tomorrow. Scotty's done a yeoman's work today. He's got two, like, very different personalities, but enormous egos with the Philadelphia Sousa, and then Mosley, a child of East Texas. He's got to manage enormous egos, and then just kind of, and then his own ego. I mean, Scotty has a big ego as well. So managing all three of that is really a tough thing to balance. So we appreciate Scotty and his fine work today, and everybody who was watching us on Twitter and going, what was Mosley going to say about Baylor today? There'll be much more tomorrow. Did I ever finish that thought? Michelle Leonard, the Baylor soccer, is playing for, I mean, they're headed toward a national title, perhaps. I don't know. But Michelle Leonard will be on with us tomorrow. And then Thursday, Scott Drew, award-winning men's basketball coach for the Bears. And then Nikki will come back next week. We somehow missed Nikki last week, and I would blame that mostly on Scotty for that happening. All right, everybody have a great one. Lizzie, all our best. I guess we could just take her to one of our houses, Scotty, if she doesn't have a place to go for Thanksgiving. My gosh. All right, we'll work that out off air. Appreciate everybody who's been a part of this. We will see you tomorrow at 1 o'clock straight up. Good night.